So, I was gonna tell you that, I was gonna tell you that, one of the nominees, for And the Winner was never reviewed by RT Book Reviews. There is no review for the. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. There's no review. I've looked. I have scoured the magazine. The book came out in September. I've gone through September. I've gone through October, November, December. I've gone through August. I've gone through the entire year. The book was never reviewed. So stay tuned if you want to know what book that was. And also, I wanted to point out, especially with this issue, a lot of the nominees are authors that did one and done, or maybe four and done, or a trilogy and done, and you never heard from them again. And I was like, why? They wrote a really good story, and then that was the end of it. They just disappeared from the face of the earth. They got the award, and that was the end of it. So that just kind of bugs me. Whereas these other authors, New York Times bestsellers, whatever. And then on top of it, on my, hey, welcome to the D. Louise book series. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme. We do curls with pussycats. Doing curls. My boy used to love this. He has gone to heaven. But anyways, my husband went to go to work and had a huge flat tire. And he's a heart patient. And we had to scour the neighborhood to find someone to help him change the tire. So he can make an appointment for someone to get new tires. And then he got a bloody nose. It's been a morning. And we got Missy over here. Go on. Ow! So, hey! Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, KAYE. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy spice stuff going on here. And like I said, excuse me. Good. I'm hoping he made it to work. Okay. We shall see. So, the award will be out of the display case for next week's showing. So I'll be able to use the award, although I'm getting used to the globe. And it is the season. Yes, ma'am. Would you stop? So, we're starting with Best Romantic Suspense. And our first nominee is KENDRA ELLIOTT. Alone. 4.5. Well, all of these got 4-5 stars. Because they're nominated for the best of the year. They have to have at least 4.5. ELLIOTT never ceases to amaze readers with her magnificent gifts for romantic suspense, and Book 4 of the Bone Secret series is absolute proof. This novel has numerous engaging main and supporting characters who blend together in perfect symmetry, and fans of the mystery will revel in the sheer thrill of uncovering the evil crime. And we will be doing these for the D. Louise book series next year. Forensic anthropologist Dr. Victoria Perez is needed at a horrific crime scene at Forest Park, where 6 young girls clad in white dresses were found arranged in a circle. 5 are dead and 1 clings to life. It's strangely similar to another murder scene unearthed almost 50 years ago. As Victoria attempts to find the connection, medical examiner Seth Rutledge, her former love, shows up. He struggles to win her heart as she struggles to stay alive. Your next nominee is Laura KAYE. Naked guy on the cover, As Hard as You Can. And I could have sworn I saw that someplace. Anyways, As Hard as You Can. And hey, her book last year, Hard as It Gets, was nominated for last year's award. So last week we showed the other book. And oh, I forgot about the. Sorry. As Hard as You Can, Laura KAYE, 4.5 stars. The second book in the Rising Star KAYE's gritty Hard Ink series picks up after events from the launch book as a betrayed former Special Forces team tries to uncover the truth about their botched mission. During the mission to rescue Charles Merritt from the church gang who was torturing him, former Special Forces member Shayne has an encounter with Crystal Dean, a waitress who works at the club where Charlie is being held. Surprisingly, Crystal aids Shayne at great risk to herself, due to her late father owing the church gang money. Crystal has been forced to work for them. Only by being Bruno's girlfriend has Crystal saved herself and her epileptic sister Janet from a more dire fate. However, Bruno's increasing viciousness and erratic behavior warns Crystal her time is running out. Now Shayne has an additional mission: find a way to take the church down and to save Crystal. Book 3. And I don't know why this book was so hard to find. So we had to go with a picture. I've seen it so many times. The Collector. And I thought I had it in my pile, and I don't. I have a stack of Noras. And 4.5 stars. Robert puts down her own inimitable spin on a Rear Window-esque story of greed and murder as shocking crime brings the worlds of Lila Emerson and famed artist Ashton Archer into direct collision and places them in more jeopardy than they ever dreamed. Up-and-coming young adult author Lila Emerson enjoys being a professional house sitter, but she gets more than she bargains for while surreptitiously observing her temporary New York City neighbors. Lila witnesses what initially appears to be the murder-suicide of a model and her boyfriend Oliver Archer. When Lila inadvertently meets Oliver's brother, Ashton, he insists his brother was incapable of such violence. As Ashton and Lila begin to investigate on their own, they discover Oliver was playing in a rarefied circle where priceless antiques are bought, sold, or stolen. See what happens there. M.L. Buchanan. Light Up the Night. Naked guy on the cover. The Night Stalkers, 4.5 stars. Light Up the Night, M.L. Buchanan. The Night Stalker series just keeps getting better and better. Light Up the Night is the perfect blend of riveting, high-octane military action interspersed with tender, heartfelt moments with a slight, sigh-worthy, scarred hero and a strong Irish redhead heroine. The moment that SOAR helicopter pilot Trish O'Malley rescues undercover Navy SEAL Bill Bruce, temper soar and passion flares between them. Bill isn't sure what to think of the risk-taking pilot and the fact that she piques his interest a little too much. Trisha doesn't know what to make of the scarred SEAL who possesses a tender side. Now that they've been assigned on the same team to recover pirates' hostages, they'll get their chance to decide. And Caller Neggers. Harbor Island. Neggers delivers another spellbinding, chilling, complex page-turner in the latest Sharp and Donovan novel. The jet lag hasn't even subsided for the newly engaged FBI agents Emma Sharp and Colin Donovan when they have a new murder to investigate. It's seemingly connected to their ongoing investigation of a decade-old art crime spree that spans an ocean and involves both their FBI division and Sharp Fine Art Recovery, Emma's family business. The deeper they dig, the more complications arise and the wider crime net becomes. Suddenly, the lines between friends and suspects narrow, and agents working both stateside and abroad rush to find the culprit before another crime is committed. Okay. Now, you'd think with all the Maya Banks books I have, I'd have this one, and I don't. I stood there looking at the shelves going, there's 20 Maya Banks here. How come I don't have it? So this will be our first picture. Picture, Chrissy! Keep Me Safe, Maya Banks, 4.5 stars. In Banks' latest, an intricate plot centered around a high, tough, smart, sexy, and tenacious alpha hero, and strong but very broken woman he cares deeply about will draw readers in right way. Wealthy businessman Caleb Devereaux's sister Tori is kidnapped. He seeks out psychic Rami St. Clair's help. With her special gift of experiencing a victim's pain, Rami locates Tori, but it takes a toll on Rami's health and puts her in serious danger. When Caleb returns to make amends, Rami is gone. A year later, Rami calls Caleb panicked and frightened for her life. Caleb goes to her immediately, vowing to do whatever it takes to protect Rami from the stalker. Maggie Shayne, Innocent Prey. And you'd think with all the Maggie Shayne books I have, I'd have this one too. But it doesn't sound like it's part of the vampire series, and I leaned more towards her vampire series. Innocent Prey. Shayne has hit the jackpot with the pairing of self-help author Rachel DeLuca and Detective Mason Brown. With chilling suspense and laugh-out-loud one-liners from Rachel, this book will have readers engrossed until the very end. Detective Mason Brown is asked to unofficially look into the disappearance of a judge's blind daughter. During an outing with her blindness coach, the young woman vanishes. Mason quickly recruits Rachel DeLuca, who just happened to be blind until recently, to assist with this case. Iris Johansson, the KENDRA series. She started out blind too. What starts as an unofficial look into the case of missing girl quickly turns into a full-fledged murder investigation with numerous missing girls. With no apparent connection between the victims, Mason and Rachel are racing against the clock to solve this one before more get hurt. And, the final one in Best Romantic Suspense is Shelley Corelli, and this is one of the authors I mentioned that you never see her again. I think there's 3 or 4 when I looked it up, and then that's it. But who knew Coriell's second installment of her Apostle series is suspense with crisp, smooth storytelling and diabolical villain housed within a chilling plot. Prosecutor Grace Cormachi receives a phone call from Leah Grant, a woman who buried underground somewhere in the swamps of Grace's hometown of Cyprus. She enlists the help of local authorities and her ex-husband, FBI agent Theodore Hatch, a crisis negotiator with Criminal Investigation Unit, whom she suspects unexpectedly bumps into on the street. A heated connection between them. Despite their bitterness and hurt, they grow closer as the case turns personal for Grace. Okay, and the winner, the Globe Ghost. We had the nominees are KENDRA, ELLIOTT, alum, Laura K, As Hard as You Can, Nora Roberts, The Collector, M.L. Buchanan, Light Up the Night, Carla, Neggers, Harbor Island, Maya Banks, Keep Me Safe, Maggie, Shayne, Innocent Prey, Shelley Corley, The Buried. And the winner is, I would have chosen The Collector by Nora Roberts, but that's just me. But the winner is Laura K, As Hard as You Can. And that would be the naked guy. Where is it? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, no. That would be these two. So it won last year. So his second book won an award too. There you go. This is the full article. Alright. You know, I don't agree with some of these categories. I really don't. I didn't do as many historicals as I did last week or last year. But in their magazine, they're all historical. It's just one category. And then when they do the awards, they break it up into historical British, historical Scotland, historical mystery, historical this, historical that. And they break it up into all these different categories. And the same goes with the paranormal. Now, some of these authors cannot be found in paranormal, but in the romantic section, or sometimes they can be found in the paranormal. It just, sometimes they're in the mystery section, but there's paranormal. So they may be in the mystery section of the magazine, but in the award, they're in the paranormal section. It's just weird. It's just weird. So, let's see. This is the paranormal romantic suspense. Okay. And our first nominee is Rebecca Zanetti, who we've got to start reading at some point. Forgotten. Alright. The category is, this is just one of my points. The category is paranormal romantic suspense. Paranormal romantic suspense. She's in contemporary romance. And then in its little section here, paranormal romantic suspense. But she's under contemporary romance. That was just my case in point. Oh, he's got clothes on. Nominee number 1, Forgotten Sins, 4.5 stars. The rich world of romantic suspense gets even better with the first in Zanetti's tremendous new Paranormal Edge series. The second chances and family loyalty from the emotional core of this rapid-paced, clever thriller since alpha hero Shayne has amnesia. Both Shayne and readers learn together of the events that led to this crossroad. 2 years ago, Jose Dean's husband Shayne disappeared without a trace. Heartbroken and angry, Josie is starting to move on when she receives the call that Shayne is in the hospital after being found at a crime scene with no memory. Despite her anger, Josie takes Shayne home only to realize there is much more going on than she ever dreamed. Nominee number 2, who we do find in the paranormal section at some point. Some of her books do end up there. So this is the paranormal romantic suspense, right? So this is romantic suspense, but not paranormal. Heather Graham, Waking the Dead. There was a TV series. Farnham stars dark, dangerous, and deadly. Graham has the uncanny ability to bring her books to life using exceptionally vivid details to add depth to all the people and places, as if readers were the ones gazing at Hubert masterpiece or walking through a disturbing crime scene. In 1816, Henry Sebastian Hubert invited the finest imaginations of the day, including Lord Byron and Percy Shelley, to a medieval castle. They created horrors previously unseen, using words and paint to tantalize and thrill, with Hubert painting a masterpiece that was fittingly titled Ghosts in the Mind. Now Michael Quinn returns to the New Orleans Police Department investigate a brutal murder that lacks any tangible evidence. Daniel Cafferty, a local artist who was part of the previous investigation involving possessed objects, is now involved with Quinn. Although they are trying to go slowly, despite the powerful flow of romance, together and with the help of powerful and exceptional friends, they have to find the infamous painting to stop the evil. See what happens there. Virtue Falls. There's a lot. A lot of the nominees come from September. A lot. Oh, and this is 2014. I guess I should have mentioned that 20 minutes ago. But I had other things on my mind. My husband's nose was bleeding. I am sorry. I am very inadequate that way. But, see what happens. So this is supposed to be paranormal romantic suspense. She's in mystery. You see what I'm saying? Virtue Falls. Mega talent Dodd returns with a stunning work of mystery, danger, and romance. Dodd enhances his new tale with a ghostly presence. Heroine Elizabeth Banner is brilliantly pricking and damaged by tragedy, but also utterly compelling. Dodd has always been a terrific author, but she kicks into a whole new realm with this amazing and terrifying novel. For more than 2 decades, geologist Elizabeth Banner believed that her father murdered her mother. Her mother Misty. Elizabeth has returned to Virtue Falls for a project, and there is a massive earthquake and tsunami occur in a manner predicted by both her and her father's work. The earthquake uncovers Misty's missing bones. Elizabeth's ex-husband, disgraced FBI agent Garrick Jacobson, races to Virtue Falls to help Elizabeth in the aftermath. When a serial killer strikes, it calls into question Misty's murder. Are Elizabeth's memories inaccurate? And will she become a target? Okay. Karen Robards, The Black Dog. Oh. Alright, let's back up again. It's Karen Robards, Her Last Whisper. Here we go. It's up here. The Last Whisper. 4.5 stars. Robards is back with the third installment of her Dr. Charlie Stone's novels, featuring the unlikely crime-solving duo of the ghost-seeing Charlie and the ghost of a convicted killer, Michael Garland. Robard does an outstanding job providing a mystery thriller that is truly creepy and dangerous. Charlie Day goes from bad to worse when she is bitten during an interview with a serial killer. Then Michael's ghost comes under attack from a hunter. Charlie barely manages to save Michael with the help of her medium friend Tam, but the danger still lurks. Then Charlie's help is requested by FBI agent Tony Bartoli. Fellow Fed Lena Camini's sister has disappeared in Los Angeles and may be the victim of a serial killer. Michael doesn't want Charlie putting herself at risk once again, but Charlie can't say no. Okay. Alright, now. Caitlin Kittredge, Black Dog. Alright, paranormal romantic suspense, right? What are we doing in urban fantasy? I'm telling you, they pull these books from all over. They don't stick with their categories in their magazines. Black Dog. Kittredge's imagination knows no bounds, as vast scope of her first Hellhound Chronicles attest. But she is also quite daring, crafting a series where the line between good and evil is constantly blurred. A wealth of multifaceted and magnetic characters make this story instantly engaging, but readers should be prepared to pay close attention to the rules of this series. Then hold on as tightly as Kittredge's brash, hard-as-nails heroine begins to break every one of them. So, wait a second. Ava is a hellhound and a slave to a reaper who lives to capture dark, deviant, and wayward souls, sending them to hell where they belong. But when a human necromancer captures Ava and convinces her to turn on her reaper, she realizes that the world she thought she knew has been a lie. When Ava's betrayal is discovered by the reaper's boss, Lilith charges Ava with tracking down souls. As she performs this penance, Ava becomes caught in the middle of a power struggle between heaven and hell, with her own fierce, rebellious soul hanging in the balance. I had to go look. I don't have this one, but I have these. I'm gonna do this. I knew that author seemed familiar to me. Demon Bound. Nightlife. Second Skin. Secret Street Magic. Pure Blood. Bone Gods. Witchcraft. Demon's Mark. I knew I had these. And our final one in romantic suspense is Paige Tyler, Her Lone Wolf. I went and searched. I found 5 of them. And the titles all have some kind of wolf in them. But I didn't have this one. And so I could do this. I can fold this up. Chasing a serial killer is hard enough, but the fact that he's an animal shapeshifter adds to the urgency. The second in the X-Ops series is nonstop and hair-raising storytelling. 2 years ago, FBI agent Danica Beckett broke Clay Buchanan's heart. The bitter memories are still strong when Danica calls in the Department of Cover Operations to assist in the search for serial killer. She never expected them to send Clay, since she recognizes the evidence of a shifter involvement in the murders. Danica realizes that Shayne may be her best asset in solving the case. After all this time, they are still in sync when it comes to solving crimes. Eventually, Danica opens up about her reason for leaving Clay, and the two realize they were manipulated by someone at DCO. So, will they get back together? So, your nominees for paranormal romantic suspense are Rebecca Zanetti, Forgotten Sins; Heather Graham, Waking Dead; Christina Dodd, Virtue Falls; Karen Robards, Her Last Whisper; Caitlin Kittredge, Black Dog; and Paige Tyler, Her Lone Wolf. And the globe goes to Christina Dodd, Virtue Falls, and the globe goes to I. To me, this is the quilt lady. She writes a lot of quilt cozy mysteries. Solve a mystery while knitting a quilt. But this one is different. This is Mrs. Lincoln's Rival. Hi, Shayne. Look who came to visit. Daddy's okay. We were worried when he got the flat tire. At least he was in the driveway. Okay, go. So, she's the quilt lady to me. I do all her quilting books. Here we go. Mrs. Lincoln's Rival. 4.5 stars. This book centers on one of the most beloved women during the time of the Civil War, Kate Chase Sprague, who aspired to be well known for social game and be better than her rival, Mary Todd Lincoln. Through this story, based on actual letters written by Kate and other family members, readers learn what it was like to be in the public spotlight before and during the Civil War. Kate Chase will do anything to help her father become the next president of the United States. When he loses the race, she's devastated but holds her head up and convinces him to accept the job as Secretary of the Treasury. With the help of securing his place as the next president, Kate knows she will need to form a friendship with Mary Lincoln and reaches out. The only response Kate ever receives is silence, including on the day of Kate's wedding. She realizes there is no hope of them being friends, and they will only be rivals for the rest of their lives. I wonder why. I wonder why Mary Todd Lincoln never responded to any of her letters. The Daring Ladies of Lowell. Uh, 4.5 stars. The carefully detailed life in the Massachusetts cotton mills gives Alcott a latest ring of authenticity. Add to this well-drawn characters a sensational trial, a forbidden romance, and a young woman's struggle for independence. You have a compelling read. Alice Burroughs leaves her New Hampshire farm for a job in the Lowell mill. She discovers working conditions are difficult to bear. Her friendship with Lovey Cornell, access to the literary magazines, and meeting President Jackson keep her going. Then Alice becomes a liaison between the girls and the mill owner Hiram Fisk, which leads to a connection with his son Samuel. Just when a relationship looks possible, Lovey is found hanged in an apparent suicide. The ensuing trial raises tension between the owners and the girls as Alice hopes for justice and faces loss and betrayal with courage. And collecting of dying breaths. The collector of dying breaths. M.J. Bruce. In the third book about a French perfume family, Rose masterfully combines romance, mystery, and dual timelines connected by reincarnation theme. The storyline and the extensive historical details about Catherine de Medici's arrival in Paris as a young royal bride and later as a ruthless queen are fascinating. As Jack Etoll's brother Robbie is dying, he asks her to continue the project of trying to find a secret 16th century formula that may reanimate souls captured in a person's dying breath. Jack travels to Barbiz, France, where she finds the hidden workshop of Rene, perfumer and poisoner to Queen Catherine de Medici. Jack's partners in search for the formula include her former lover, an expert in ancient languages, and the obsessive manipulated owner of Rene's property who will stop at nothing to obtain the formula. And Boleynian Reckoning. Boleynian Reckoning. Laura Anderson, 4.5 stars. In the conclusion to her Boleyn trilogy, Anderson brilliantly brings her alternate world into the reality we know as Elizabethan England. Readers will hold their breath as the heart-wrenching tale unfolds and the fully developed characters move toward their destiny. William is at a crossroads in his life. Surviving smallpox and fighting to hold his throne are turning him into a man more like his father. His actions worry his loyal sisters Elizabeth. William's friends Munette and Dominic return to court, trying to keep their marriage a secret. When the truth is revealed, the newlyweds flee Will's wrath, yet refuse to join the rebellion against him. Meanwhile, Elizabeth strives to bring Will back to sanity as he sinks deeper into mania. And she seeks Robert Dudley's help. God, that guy appears in all these books, don't he? Elizabeth Chadwick. The Summer Queen. Chadwick adds another dimension to the Eleanor of Aquitaine's inspirational story culled from recent research, richly detailed with an eye to historical events and personages. Eleanor and her sister Petrolia are carefree girls until their father's death in 1137 ends Eleanor's childhood. With an eye on her sister and young Aquitaine, Eleanor is wed to the young Prince Louis of France and thrust into the role of queen at only 13. As her husband grapples with his role of ruler and devotion to God, Eleanor is left to face the emotional physical demands of a ruthless court, and then going on crusade with Louis. As her marriage to Louis crumbles in a scandalous divorce, Henry of Agenor waits in the wings. Hold on a second. God, this is heavy. The next, written in my own heart's blood. What can one say about a book we have been waiting 5 years to read? In this case, it's worth the wait. Jamie and Claire. And Gabaldon has created another epic, sweeping novel full of history, epic adventure, and romance. In 1778, the Americans can see victory in their own grasp, but Claire Fraser's trouble is just beginning. The husband she thought dead has returned to find she has married his friend Lord John. Claire can never love anyone as she does Jamie, but she wed to save her life. Then there's the shock Lord John's son receives when he discovers Jamie is his biological father. Ian Murray, Jamie's nephew, is facing his own crisis, for his love with Quaker Rachel is complicated when his cousin sets sights on her. Meanwhile, in 1980, Jamie and Claire's daughter Brianna is fighting off a mobster who may have kidnapped her son Jem, and her husband Roger travels back in time to find the boy. And this was the previous season. This was season 7. If you haven't watched Outlander, that was this season. And our final book in historical fiction was The King's Curse. Queen of historical fiction, Gregory brings English history to life through the hearts and minds of people, not through dates or wars, but via marriages and family politics. Henry VII imprisons and beheads Margaret's simple-minded brother, and then sees her wed to Sir Richard Pole, the Governor of Wales. She lives quietly with her husband, but she keeps the knowledge of ancient curse on the House of Lancaster. With Prince Arthur and his bride Catherine of Aragon visit, Margaret befriends the newlyweds. After Arthur's death, Catherine honors his wish that she wed his brother Henry VIII. Oops. When Catherine becomes queen, she requests Margaret as lady-in-waiting. Margaret must navigate a dangerous court and keep herself, her husband, and her son safe. Okay. So your nominees for historical fiction were Jennifer Shivani, Kate Alcott. Jennifer Shivani, Mrs. Lincoln's rival. Kate Alcott, The Daring Ladies of Lowell. M.J. Rose, The Collector of Dying Breaths. Laura Anderson, The Boleynian Reckoning. Elizabeth Chadwick, The Summer Queen. Diana Gabaldon, Written in My Own Heart's Blood. And Philippa Gregory, The King's Curse. And if you didn't know it, the Globe goes to, and this is one I highly support the Globe going to. And the winner is... Okay. The nominees for historical romance. Catherine Anderson, Walking on Air. Four and a half stars. Like Francine Rivers, one of Anderson's hallmark is creating opportunity for lost souls to find redemption. Gabriel Valance is a gunslinger who drinks, gambles, and womanizes until he's gunned down in random Colorado on Christmas Eve. The angels at the pearly gates give him an opportunity to set his record straight. He is to choose one of 3 people to help. He picks Nan Hoffman, a dressmaker haunted by her past. He has 1 month to win her trust so she can learn to love and lead a full life. There is one catch: he cannot alter anyone else's destiny. Gabe falls in love and realizes he has to help others, even if it means he'll never see heaven. Romancing the Duke. I thought I had this one. But anyway. Chesadea, Romancing the Duke. Adorable, funny, charming, and clever are few words used to describe Dare's novels, and the first of her Castles Ever After series is no exception. Mrs. Isolde Ophelia Goodnight, daughter of best-selling author, is penniless after her father's death and unexpectedly inherits a ghastly castle, but the castle is occupied by Ransom, Duke of Rothbury, a man coming to grips with the loss of his sight. The sparks that fly between them set the stage for a battle that neither plans on losing. Yet as Izzy makes time to understand Ransom, he realizes she is unlike most women. Through her notions about romance and fairy tale endings are strange to a loveless man. Living and work together, their mutual desire ignites. Will they fall in love? Love and Let Spy. Shanna Galen. Wait a minute. I I lined up the wrong magazines. Let's see. Love and Let Spy. Well known for her delightful adventure historicals, Galen raises the bar with Love and Let Spy. This book is lively, fast-paced, and wonderfully creative, sensual romance between the two extremely different characters. When the Ton believes Jane Bond, a young, beautiful beauty who turns men's heads, she really is a spy in England's Secret Service. When Dominic Griffin's parents insist he marry, he is pleased to see Jane's name on their approved list. Though trained as an secret agent, Jane is socially innocent. Concurrent with her realization that she has no idea what to do with the suitor, she is trying to prevent a French spy ring from assassinating the royal family. Jane has always worked alone, but after Dominic saves her several times, she realizes she can trust him as a partner. Alright. Evernight, Kristen Callahan. Callahan never disappoints or fails to surprise as she spins her tales of the darkest London. With extraordinary storytelling skills, mesmerizing characters, and plots that twist and turn readers around and around. Holly Evernight hasn't forgotten anything about her captivity or about William Thorne, the man she was forced to operate on, replacing his heart with a clockwork mechanism. William is still caught on a nightmare too horrible for him to control. He's capable of many things, murder being one of them. As the ideal assassin, he goes after Holly with a contract to put on her life. Because of her power over metal, Holly is able to calm William and ease his pain. The instant she touches him, he returns to sanity and she feels an undeniable pull. William and Holly forge a bond that lures them into passion, a desire neither of them understands. Okay. So this is a nominee for historical romance. Historical romance. But it's a paranormal. It's not in the paranormal romantic suspense category. It's in the historical romance category. And it probably qualifies as steampunk and as paranormal romance. So what is it doing in historical romance category? Explain this one to me. Because I'm going to say she operated on him. He's got a mechanical heart. That's steampunk situation. That is not historical romance. It just doesn't work for me. So I'm a little angry that they would put this in. They should have put it in paranormal romantic suspense or paranormal romance, not in historical romance. A paranormal does not work in historical romance category when there's no historical romance about it. Anyways, once more, my darling rogue. Which is historical romance. With her usual sense of poignancy and humor, Heath seamlessly merges the premise of the movie Overboard into a Victorian-era romance between bad boy Drake Darling and Lady Ophelia. Drake Darling is neither nobleman nor commoner. His sister's best friend, Lady Ophelia Littleton, takes very little opportunity to remind him of his street urchin origins. However, after rescuing her from drowning in the Thames, Drake discovers she has no memory and sees his chance for a bit of revenge. Ophelia has no reason not to trust or believe Drake when he tells her she is his housekeeper, and she is soon drawn to him and his kisses. But when her memory returns, will she beat the life out of him? Okay, and so much for setting this up. Um, never judge a lady. Never judge a lady by her cover. Sarah McLean. The secret is out. McLean fans will recognize Lady Georgiana's person from previous books and understand why she is very her own HEA. Lady Georgiana causes a scandal by becoming an unwed mother before her first season, but found a way to survive the room, becoming Chase, the owner of London's most sought-after gambling club, and the sultry Anna, the club's liaison to Chase. Though she has sworn off love and society, she must re-enter the ton for her daughter's sake. Newspaper publisher Duncan West is drawn to her and silently vows to help her find her husband. But Duncan also needs Chase help to unmasking a traitor. As he gets closer to Georgiana, she fears her identity and her heart. Okay. So, your nominees for historical romance were Catherine Anderson, Walking on Air; Tessa Dare, Romancing the Duke; Shanna Galen, Love and Let Spy; Kristen Callahan, Evernight. And why was the Paranormal doing an historical romance nomination? And Lorraine Heath, Once More My Darling Rogue; and Sarah McLean, Never Judge a Lady by Her Cover. And the winner, the Globe, goes to Catherine Heath, Once More My Darling Rogue. Okay, the nominees for contemporary romance. The Wedding Favor. Cara Connolly. Connolly's debut novel is delicious, scandalous, and moving enemies to lovers' tale featuring a heroine who can't wit and grace never fade into the face of personal insecurities and family drama. Tyrell Brown hasn't recovered from his wife's death, and reliving the horrific details in court in front of heartless defense attorney is almost more than he can bear. It gets worse when he's forced to sit right next to the same attorney on a flight to France and discovers they are en route to the same wedding. Victoria Weston is determined to ignore the moody, infuriating, attractive cowboy, but when their feud nearly spoils the wedding, they agree to play nice to keep the peace. Okay. Bella Andre. We've done her quite a few times in Flashback Monday. I couldn't find this one. The corner here. Come a little bit closer, Bella Andre. Andre is simply a wonder. Smith Sullivan is taking a chance with his next movie role. He wrote the screenplay and is directing and starring in the film. Hand selected his leading lady was easy, but she comes with an uptight business manager, who is also her sister. Valentina Langdon has spent the last 10 years protecting her sister from the wolves of Hollywood. When her sister lands a career-making role opposite box office star Smith, she keeps a close eye on the actor to prevent him from taking advantage of his sister. But Valentine can't ignore the sparks that fly between them. So her sister gets to be in the movie, but she gets the man. Uh, Shoot. So much for planning here. Brendan Novak, Come Home to Me. For an if you haven't started reading the Whiskey Creek series, get going. Novak's latest installment spotlights a love that refuses to quit and teaches us that fate always has the upper hand in love. Presley Christian and her son Wyatt return to Whiskey Creek to reunite with her sister. It's been 2 years and Presley is proud to admit that she's overcome her troublesome past, but she gets a sinking feeling when she spots her former love, Aaron Amos, in town. Aaron is back and forth from Reno, where he's opening a branch of the family auto body business. He doesn't want to take a step back, but after he's come this far. But when he learns Presley has been keeping a secret, he has no choice but to open his eyes and his heart. I'm getting a feeling I know what that secret is. Um, Molly O'Keefe, Between the Sheets. Some of these authors, they're one and done, and you never saw them again. Molly O'Keefe, Between the Sheets. Between the Sheets, while extremely sexy and erotic, also delves deep into the matters of the heart and family. This book tells an intricate story about having a parent with Alzheimer's, child abandonment, and deep-seated issues of inadequacy. After years of running away from his bad situation, Wyatt Swevin has settled down in Bishop, Arkansas to raise a son he only recently knew he had. His neighbor Shelby Monroe is definitely the side of cool blonde, and when she turns out to be his son's art teacher and genuinely cares about his kid, the attraction cannot be denied. Under Shelby's cool and structured image is a woman who uses sex to deal with her emotions, and Wyatt is happy to help. I don't know. I don't know. And the final book is Return to Glory. No. Oh, there's a few more books. Sorry. Um, Return to Glory is the next one. Sarah Arden. Picture Chrissy. Picture Chrissy. Arden's latest is tender with a slice of grit that speaks to the scars that come from war and power of healing that love can bring. For Betsy Lewis, former Navy SEAL Jack McCullough has been the hero she adored ever since he saved her from drowning when she was 10 years old. He's now back in glory because of a promise he made to her. Jack adores Betsy, but he can't imagine she sees him in the same way now that he's physically scarred and emotionally broken. Betsy is determined to save Jack, to convince him that she loves him regardless of what his faults are. Um, let's see. Heroes are my weakness. Susan Elizabeth Phillips. The release of a new Phillips novel is always reason to celebrate, but she really hits it out of the park with this one. Take one down on her luck heroine and send her to an isolated wintry island where her former teenage nemesis awaits and adds puppets, and you have a making of a Phillips classic. Puppets? Having used her savings, broke actress puppeteer Annie Howitt only option is to head to the tiny island off the coast of Maine in the dead of winter to stay in her mother's isolated cottage. Annie dreads returning because her memories of the island and Harp House mansion are ominous. It was there that the teenage Theo Harp betrayed Annie and may have tried to kill him. It's just Annie's bad luck that her widowed horror author Theo has also returned to work on his newest book. Ah, I don't know. Kristen Ashley, breathe. Picture Grizzy. Oh, wait a minute. I've got one. Here we go. I don't need a picture Grizzy. I got one. Storyteller extraordinaire Ashley's latest Colorado mountain novel picks up after the events of Lady Luck. The painted blend of alpha hero and gutsy heroine mixed in with danger and romance all led up to another Ashley hit. Police Detective Chase Caton helped take down all the dirty cops in his department and became a town hero. Librarian Faye Goodnight has had a serious crush on Chase for years, but never expects him to notice her. When they suddenly do connect, it flusters Faye to no end. Then, for the sake of mysterious homeless boy, Faye and Chase join forces and discover unexpected passion. And Marie Hart. What to do with a bad boy? I don't know. What do you do with a bad boy? Put him in the corner? The top one. While the previous books in the series are all amazing on their own, this installment by far has the most heart. All emotions are tackled in this tale. There is so much going on that even the readers felt tears prickle her eyes when she got to a certain parts of the story. Mike McCauley is the rock of his family and focuses on taking care of his three younger brothers, his parents, and his 6-year-old son, Colin. He is still grieving the loss of a wife, Leah, who died during childbirth. He has yet to move on, no matter how many women his mother throws his way. Meanwhile, Colin is obsessed with Delilah Weber, given her job as an auto mechanic, her multiple piercings, and her arm covered in tattoos. When the family sees Mike's attraction to the hard as nails Dells, they all plot and shame to get the two of them together. So your nominees for Best Contemporary Romance were Cara Connolly, The Wedding Favor, Bella Andre, Come a Little Closer, Brendan Novak, Come Home to Me, Molly O'Keefe, Between the Sheets, Sarah Arden, Return to Glory, Susan Elizabeth Phillips, Hero of My Weakness, Kirsten Ashley, Breathe, and Marie Hart, What to Do with a Bad Boy. And the Globe goes to Molly O'Keefe. What to Do with the... Oh, Between the Sheets. Sorry. Between the Sheets. The Globe goes to... Okay. Contemporary mystery. The Dead in Their Vaulted Arches. Bradley's latest Flavia de Luce novel reaches a new level of perfection as it shows the emotional turmoil and growth of a girl who has always been older than her years and yet is still a child. When Flavia was a baby, her mother disappeared while mountain climbing, and her father never recovered emotionally. Now, shockingly, her mother is coming home. As the family reunites at the train station, a man approaches Flavia and whispers a mysterious message. Then he is pushed onto the train tracks and killed. After the family returns home, a grown cousin of Flavia's mother, who Flavia has never heard of, arrives with Strange Child and an odd piece of film that brings Flavia more questions about her family's past as she looks for a killer. Flavia is put to the test like never before. Um, John Katzenbach. Picture, Chrissy. Picture. Katzen delivers a pitch-perfect psychological thriller as he delves into the thought process of the killer, the victims, and the killer's spouse. A frustrated novelist decides to prove that he is a brilliant criminal mind by committing several unsolvable murders. He targets 3 women with nothing in common other than their red hair and plans to murder them on the same day, using a different MO for each. To add psychological flair, he sends a letter to each woman warning her that he is stalking them. When the killer doesn't count on the women identifying each other, clues he left unwittingly and bonding together to turn the tables on him. I would have picked a different book. There's a whole bunch of other books in here. Charles Dodd, Lisa Gardner, Harry Dolan. I would have chose any of them. I'll have to look at that later. Laura Lippman, After I'm Gone. Lippman is at her finest here, laying a compelling mystery with emotional depths among slice-of-life observations that will stay with the readers long after the page. 26 years ago, the small-time yet successful criminal Felix Briller ran from a jail sentence, leaving behind a wife, 3 daughters, and a mistress. His mistress, Julie later disappeared, and though many assumed she ran off to be with Felix, a decade later her body was found. Now, Roberto Sandy Sanchez, a retired Baltimore police detective consulting on cold cases, unearths the case of Julie's murder. What he finds is the story of the 5 women who Felix left behind. All right, my lady. She's not the winner. I'll give you a spoiler of that, and she should have been. Lieutenant Eve Dallas is Lieutenant Eve Dallas in the New York Police and Security Department. Solves murder mysteries each and every book. The romance that you got to read the books in order for character progression, because the characters do grow, they do get promoted, they do gain relationships, all that kind of stuff happens. Life happens in the books. But she and her husband is Rourke, and her boss is Whitney, and the shrink is Mira, and Peabody is her partner, and McNabb is Peabody's life partner, but he's also a detective in EDD. And Rourke is building a school concealed in death. And we get some of Mavis's background in here too. Mavis is her best friend. You got 4.5 stars, and this should have been the winner. It should have been. The newest case for dogged Police Lieutenant Eve Dallas is to solve or getting colder. Though this story, Rob, brings attention to lost children and the tragic consequences of what often happens to them. Eve's husband, Rourke, is swinging the first sledgehammer for the demolition of a New York building and reveals 2 skeletons wrapped in plastic behind the poorly constructed wall. Although they find 12 skeletons of teenage girls and the forensic analyst proves the girls died 15 years ago, it turns out the ones The building once contained a shelter for troubled teens. As she finds out more about the girls and who killed them, Eve enters into a world filled with abuse and shattered dreams, and the connection to Mavis comes to light. The dead will tell. Even this should have been the winner. Four-and-a-half stars. This story moves quickly, but it's very complex. The possible suspects keep changing, but the plot is logical. The supernatural links are unnerving and add depth to the story, giving the reader more to think about. A terrible crime was committed in Painter's Mill long ago. Many members of the Hoshlers, an Amish family, were found dead. They are survived by one son who still lives in the area. No one was ever arrested for the crimes. Now, Painter's Mill Police Chief Birkenholdem is investigating a series of murders that seem connected to the past. The abandoned Hochsteller farm is said to be haunted. Kate doesn't believe in ghosts, but she knows that the past can reach out for the living with terrible consequences. Okay. Remember I said in the beginning of this podcast that they nominated a book? Let me get my sheet here. They nominated this book. I'm going to show you. These are the nominees for contemporary mystery right here. Right? The Dead in Their Vaulted Arches. The Dead Will Tell. The Secret Place. Red 123. After I'm Gone, and Concealed in Death. And this says that The Secret Place was published in September, and you should be able to find the review either in September or October of that year. They never reviewed the book. I searched the entire year. I searched in every category of the magazine. It was one of their nominees. It's not the winner, because then I would really have an issue. They never reviewed this book. It's not in here. If you find it, let me know. But it's not. It hasn't been reviewed. I looked in all the different categories. I looked in mystery. I looked in mystery in all the issues, and then I went back and looked in paranormal and urban and historical. I looked everywhere. I looked in every category. Tanya French, The Secret Place. So I don't have a review, but they chose it. The photo on the card shows a boy who was found murdered a year ago on the grounds of a girls' sporting school in the suburbs known of Dublin. The caption says, "I know who killed him." Detective Stephen Moran has been waiting for this chance to get a foot in the door of the Dublin's murder squad, and one morning 6-year-old Holly Mackey brings him the photo. The Secret Place is a board where the girls at St. Kilda School can pin up their secrets anonymously, and today someone has used it to reignite the stalled investigation into the murder of handsome, popular Chris Harper. Stephen joins forces with abrasive detective Annette Conaway to find out who and why. Now, just for the hell of it, ouch. The only section that is not indexed is the teen section. And let me check one more time, because I'm thinking I can't understand why it would be here, but it is not. So it is not anywhere in September or October. So anyways, and I'm telling you, she should have been the winner. Where's the book? Oh. So your nominees were for contemporary mystery: Alan Bradley, The Dead in Their Vaulted Arches; John Katzenbach, Red 123; Laura Lippman, After I'm Gone; J.D. Robb, Concealed in Death; Linda Castillo, The Dead Will Tell; and Tanya French, The Secret Place. And the winner was, who gets the Globe, Laura Lippman, After I'm Gone. Okay, your first nominee in suspense thriller is Lisa Gardner. Fear Nothing. Detective Didi Warren is back, but this time she is definitely not at the top of her game. Its existence or lack of thereof plays a unique role in this hypnotic story. While returning to a murder scene after dark, Boston DD Detective Warren hears a low crooning shortly before she's shoved down the stairs. Left with horrifically painful and slow healing shoulder injury, DD has no clear memory of what happened. To help manage her pain, DD works with Dr. Aidan Glenn, whose own rare genetic disorder means she's incapable of feeling pain. When the Rose Killer strikes again, Didi learns there's a connection to Adeline's family. Her deceased biological father and incinerated sister, Shanna, are famous killers, and even in solitary, Shanna appears to have knowledge of the Rose Killer. And Shanna will share with Didi for a price. J.T. Allison, When Shadows Fall, and he did the helped Catherine Coulter with the FBI series. But Chrissy Picture could not find this one for nothing. When Shadows Fall, Ellison excels at imaginary and terrifying plots, and this thriller is a fine example that sucks readers in at the beginning. After several years of tragedy and danger, forensic pathologist Samantha Owens has accepted a teaching position at Georgetown University in an effort to lead a calmer life. Her plan is shattered when she receives a letter from a dead man, Timothy Savage, asking her to solve his murder. Savage's attorney is then murdered, and the killer is working his way down the list of Savage's beneficiaries. Sam becomes involved with the FBI investigation of a missing girl and finds that Savage was an FBI agent who went undercover in a cult to rescue a young girl. So he wasn't bad after all. The Skin Collector. This one is just so eerie and so gross. You probably wouldn't catch me reading it anyway. Even I just Chrissy. The Skin Collector. Forrester has once again, master thriller writer Devon delivers a heart-wrenching pounding as Lincoln Rhyme matches wits with another diabolical killer. Brilliant forensic criminologist Lincoln Rhyme, along with his protege Amelia Sachs and their investigation team, is trying to stop a serial killer who is leaving bodies in underground locations. The killer is tattooed messages on the victim's abdomens with a tattoo gun loaded with poison. The victim appears to be random, and the killer is leaving little, if any, evidence. Putting clues together and relying on instinct, Rhyme is able to identify a location and save one victim. As more pieces start to fall into place, Rhyme believes that the tattoo killings may be cover for a more sinister plot hatched by the watchmaker, his nefarious nemesis. See what happens there. And M.O. Hader the Wolf. Picture Chrissy. This was a hard one to find. I don't think she didn't write many books, this author. Chrissy, picture. This grisly tale of a family held hostage cements Hader's reputation as a queen of terror. A vagrant known as the Walking Man finds an injured dog whose collar carries a scrap of paper that says, "Help us." He manipulates Detective Inspector Jack Cafferty to search for the dog's owners by promising information about Cafferty's brother, who's been missing for more than 30 years. As Cafferty canvasses the area with the dog, he learns of a sensational double murder that occurred nearby 14 years ago. Meanwhile, a local family has been taken hostage. The father is determined to record all of the clues he can because he believes the hostages will be killed and his family tortured is related to the earlier murders. And Karen Slaughter, Coptown. Slaughter's first standalone book is a knockout. She channels the South in the turbulent 70s with evocative writing. The Atlanta PD is full of good old boys in 1974. In this post-civil rights movement era, women and African Americans are joining the force, are subject to outright hostility and demeaning work assignments. With a killer targeting the cops, the old-timers are out to get tips using whatever underhanded methods they can. Any suspect they find probably won't make it to trial. Meanwhile, 3 women ignore orders to stay away from the case. Gail, a tough veteran, Maggie, who's ostracized even when she's from a cop family, and Kate, a new sensitive recruit. These women collaborate with others and offer free of the bigotry and entrenched in the system. They find some astounding evidence following surprising leads and get caught up in the crossfire. And the final book is The Truth Be Told. Hank, Philippa, Ryan. Ryan's latest in her John Ryland series is a gem. Deception and greed lead to murder in this excellent novel that is enhanced by Ryan's background as an investigative reporter. Jane and Jake's cases intersect once again and puts their professional assassination in an unattainable position and leaves their personal relationship in shambles. Jane has settled into her job as a newspaper reporter, but is reluctant to take over a sick colleague's assignment. At first, it seems like a puff piece, but it takes her headfirst into a world of foreclosures and murder. Jane doesn't realize she's putting her life in danger with her inquiries. Meanwhile, Jake is baffled by the confession of a man who says he's responsible for the Lilac Sunday killing that happened 20 years ago. The rest of the force believes him, especially when another homicide occurs while the man is out on bail. He returns to jail, but everyone is confused when there is a third killing. So your nominees for suspense thriller are Lisa Gardner, Fear Nothing, When Shadows Fall, J.T. Ellison, The Skin Collector, Jeffrey Deaver, Wolf by M.O. Hader, Coptown by Karen Slaughter, A.R. Torrey, I missed one. A.R. Torrey, The Girl in 6E. The Girl in 6E. A.E. Torrey. The Girl in 6E is uniquely twisted and captivates from the beginning. The premise is entirely original as are the characters and the pacing. The main character may be a cold killer, but it is a woman with a soul who sacrifices everything to keep from unleashing herself on the world. Jessica hasn't touched another human in 3 years. She's a shut-in who suffers from a chilling psychosis. Good thing she has internet access. It's how she makes a living. And now she survives. Jessica is quite possibly the most popular recluse, as hundreds of men are happy to pay $6.99 per minute to watch her perform their requests. She provides them with satisfaction, and they give her distraction from her lust for blood. But after spending years hidden away to protect the world from the murderous intent, she must leave the safety of her apartment to save a young girl's life. And we did The Truth Be Told. So, your nominees for suspense thriller were Lisa Gardner, Fear Nothing, J.T. Ellison, When Shadows Fall, Jeffrey Deaver, The Skin Collector, Wolf, M.O. Hader, Coptown, Karen Slaughter, A.R. Torrey, The Girl in 6E, and Philippa Ryan, Truth Be Told. Wait, we did Truth Be Told, okay. And the winner is the one who gets the globe. I just closed it up. I didn't think about it. The Girl in 6E was the winner. Not the one I would have chosen, though. One of my favorite categories, amateur sleuths. And some of these ladies we have talked about consistently in Flashback Monday. We've also done them in Cozy Mysteries. This one lady, I've gathered so many of her books now. I'm considering reading them as part of my channel. But your first nominee in Amateur Sleuth is Joanne Fluke. Blackberry Pie Murder. Family and friends and good food are at the center of this long-running mystery series set in Lake Eden. Cookie shop owner Hannah Swenson is frustrated with planning her mother's upcoming wedding. Dolores changes her mind every minute. The wedding plans take a back seat when Hannah accidentally hits a man with her truck on a stormy day. The man dies. She is arrested. Hannah soon learns that the man was in an altercation before the car accident and was badly injured, but the victim's identification is unsolved. Can Hannah and her cohorts piece together the man's movements before the accident to reveal the real reason for his death? See what happens there. Another lady that shows up quite often in Flashback Mondays. Another lady that I'm considering reading, as I have gathered quite a few of her books too. So Steeped in Evil. Perfectly steeped teas, tasty treats, and deadly deeds make the latest tea shop mystery a page turner. Sophisticated mysteries, well crafted, carefully plotted, and proves to be one of the strongest installments in the series. Several twists move the story along nicely. Several twists move the story along nicely before culminating in a full-out foot race through Charleston's cobblestone streets. Theodosia is excited to attend a wine tasting at the Night Hall Winery. The owner, Jordan Knight, reveals his big moment as he unreveals a new wine until his dead son rolls out of a barrel. Devastated by his son's murder, Jordan asks Theodosia to help, and she learns that there are problems at the winery, including an impending divorce, drug use, and distribution obstacles. No one is telling the truth. Can Theodosia use her investigative skills to catch the crafty killer? And this lady showed up last year also, and I believe, I could be wrong, I believe she only wrote 4 or 5 books and then that was the end of her. But I'll have to double check that. But anyway, picture Chrissy! Picture! Second helping of murder, Christine Wegner. The second comfort food mystery has all the right ingredients: humor, good food, charming heroine, and a compelling mystery. Right? Yep. Trixie is instantly likable with her sharp wit, warm heart, and hardworking attitude. Trixie is looking forward to running the Silver Bullet Diner, renting out her summer cottages in Sandy Harbor, and hosting summer dances again. But the season starts ominously when a body is found. The victim, a popular teenager who went missing after a bonfire 25 years ago. Trixie's new college resident is also acting strangely, and when Trixie finds him with a bullet in his chest, she believes his death is connected to the woman's. Can Trixie and Deputy Ty Briscoe find a cold-blooded killer among the residents of Sandy Harbor? Somebody wants to say hello. Boiled Over, Barbara Ross. I tried to get this one and it has not arrived yet. It was ordered, but it has not arrived. Let's see here. The action starts early in the second main clambake mystery with quick pacing and plenty of red herrings. Ross leads readers on a thrilling ride to track down a killer. Many of the residents of Bushman's Harbor are not who they appear to be, and uncovering their secrets along with Julia is great fun. Okay. Alright, just a minute. Go. Tourist season is starting for the Snowden family clam-bake company, and Julia and her family are taking part in the Founders' Day celebrations, which she helped organize. The only event she didn't plan on was finding a foot sticking out of her family's claminator, nor did she anticipate her young employee hightailing it away from the crime scene. Now Capestone is the #1 suspect, but Julia knows the man is innocent. Can she prove it? And another lady that we have seen quite often in the Flashback Monday, and even I think she showed up in the Dog Days of Summer too, because I do own a few of hers. I do like the September issue. Death of a Dog Whisperer, Lauren Berenson. What makes a great cozy? A heroine, a smart heroine, an interesting setting with details about a career, community, friends, and enemies, a tangled mystery, and exciting ending. Melanie Tavis is having a busy summer in Connecticut with 6 champion poodles, a fairly new marriage, and her demanding Aunt Peg. Melanie has plenty to do, but when Nick Walden, known as the specialty gifted dog whisperer, is killed, his sister begs Melanie to take the case. And, this is another one of those books that I stood at the shelf, and I have a couple of her books, but I don't have this one, and I'm trying to figure out why. Picture Chrissy! One potion in the grave. Blake is unstoppable. She crafts a story that pulls readers into the book as if they are part of the cast. The characters are so real and the situation is so well written that the readers will have a hard time putting the book down. Carly Belle Hartwell is shocked when her childhood friend Kate Sue Periwinkle comes to her store. Katie Sue, now Dr. Catherine Perry, has not stepped foot in Hitching Post, Alabama in 20 years. The reason for her return is a mystery to Carly, especially since the town is hosting a huge celebrity wedding. The Calhoun family is a political force in Alabama, and their son is getting married in Hitching Post. When Katie Sue dies in an apparent fall off a cliff, Carly is the first to suspect foul play. Strange things begin happening in the town, and Carly must find the person responsible before she is the next to be silenced. So, your nominees for Amateur Sleuth, and I don't see a Kate Carlisle here, I don't see a Krista Davis here, I don't see a Donna Andrews here, Lorna Barrett, any one of those. I don't see any of those authors here. But anyway, so your nominees were Joanne Fluke, Blackberry Pie Murder, Laura Child, Steeped in Evil, Christine Wenger, A Second Helping of Murder, Barbara Ross, Boiled Over, Lauren Berenson, Death of a Dog Whisperer, and Heather Blake, One Potion in the Grave. And the winner is the Globe Getter is One Potion in the Grave. Go figure. Okay. Missy over here was feeling neglected. So we're on to my favorite, one of my favorite sections here. Paranormal romance. So, Jen Bennett, Bitter Spirits. Rising urban fantasy star Bennett crosses over into paranormal romance with a sassy, sexy, and scary new series set in the Roaring 20s. Black Prohibition ghosts are just some of the elements in this terrific book. Using her talent for seeing and channeling the dead, Ada Palmer makes her living as a spirit medium, obtaining bookings at speakeasies and clubs around the country. Currently, Ada is working at the Grist Grin in San Francisco's Chinatown. Winter Madness is one of San Francisco's top bootleggers and a formidable foe, but someone appears to be targeting him using a black magic hex. The curse draws malevolent ghosts to Winter, but luckily for Winter, Ada can banish them as they try to determine who is responsible for the curse, and Winter and Ada discover they share an intoxicating attraction. Oh yeah, hey Chrissy, don't forget the picture. Okay. Book 2. Sarah McCarthy, Reaper's Vow. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are a trip today, aren't you? Okay, Reaper's Vow. 4.5 stars. McCarthy's latest in her Shadow Reaper series takes us into the post-Civil War era, world of the mysterious Shadow Reapers, non-human soldiers who exhibit extraordinary strength and power. Human Cole is tough, interesting, and appealing as a hero with a special gift of reading people. His attraction to the she-wolf Miranda is electrifying. Rancher Cole Cameron is determined to rescue his cousin Adeline from Isaiah Jones, a Shadow Reaper, when he's saved by Isaiah from death by wolves. Cole follows Isaiah back to the Reaper camp, still determined to find Adelaide. Once there, Cole learns about the Reapers and meets Miranda, a female Reaper, who seems destined to be his mate, even though it goes against Reaper lore. Oh, look, naked guy on the cover. All right, you. Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Verena, see this lady. I would have never chosen this lady at all. Picture Chrissy, because you never hear from. I don't know if they purposely went out and found authors that. Well, they didn't know at the time, I guess. Turned. Verena DePaul. DePaul's latest is the amazing read filled with vampires, good and evil. The chemistry between Ty and Ana is fiery, strong, and electric. FBI agent and vampire Ty Dennison is given the task to recruiting ex-gang member Ana Martin to Belladonna, a secret agency that monitors vampires. In exchange for her acceptance, Ty promises to give Ana information about her long-lost sister. A post-gang shooting has scarred Ana both physically and emotionally, and she has lost her will to fully live. When she accepts Ty's offer, Ty knows Ana needs to be just a job to him, but the desire between them burns. Okay. A Time of Dying. I don't know why they picked these books. I really don't. I would not have chosen any of them. Haley Edwards, A Time of Dying. Picture Chrissy. If there's one author who's consistently turns out the stuff of legends on its collective head in exciting ways, it's Edward. In her third novel about the clans of people with fangs and spider-like silk-waving qualities, she explores the idea of reanimation. Candy has lost everything: her position as future queen of her people, her fiancé, her family, and her trade. Now she travels following the path of the plague and beheading the corpse it leaves behind. Murdoch has been tasked with his Palladian to find out why some of the bodies have disappeared, and some guards as well. When he finds Katie beheading the bodies of his people, he takes her captive and soon learns she may have the answers to his questions. We'll see what happens there. Oops. Page 74. See, now this is one of my authors. Dark Sky, Kelsey Crowe. Even though we're 15 books into Kelsey Coe's exceptional Immortals After Dark series, the stories just remained as fresh and enthralling as the first. When they were children, Venica, Prince Thanos, Lanthe, and Sorcery Girl were secret best friends, despite their people being enemies. But when an attack kills Lance's parents, she blames Thanos and takes revenge by severely injuring him. Their enmity has lasted for centuries, but that hasn't stopped the scared Thanos in determination to make Lani his mate. Thanos continues to hunt Lanthe and finally corners her while she's escaping from the Order Island prison. Their joint escape from the island tosses them into strange and deadly realms where their survival depends on joining forces. Let's see what happens. And Larissa Jan Dilemma. Jan Dilemma. Summer Moon. I would not chosen any of these peeps. Well, Christopher Cole I would have. No sophomore clump here. Dilemma clearly demonstrates the outstanding storytelling ability that is making her an author to watch. The second installment in her Celtic Wolves series revolves around complex relationships and murky motivations. As a teenager, Rosa Albin was forced into a terrible marriage with a powerful guardian. But after her husband is executed, Rosa has the chance to change the lives of people. Knowing war between the Guardians and the Rebellions is coming, Rosa plans to ally with a neighboring clan. Luke Black is known as the Beast of Merin. Luke's loyalty to his brother, the leader of their tribe, has made Luke sublimate his wolf's dominance. But if he accepts Rosa's offer of marriage, he'll be the alpha. See what happens. Larissa I own. And as many books as her I own. I could not. No special editing here. I thought I had them all. I could not find this one. What are you slapping me for? I'm getting whacked. I'm getting whacked. You see this? I'm getting whacked. Reverend. Oh, here's a picture. There you go. Naked guy on the cover with wings. Is he an angel? Let's read. Iona's made herself a major name. Amazing Dominica series with Revenant. Lone wraps up the series in spectacular fashion. For 500 years, Revenant believed he was a fallen angel forever trapped into being a part of Satan's realm. Learning that he is in fact a true angel with an angelic twin, Reva infuriates and embitters him. When Satan again attempts to force Revenant into action, it brings Revenant in contact with Blasphemy, who works as a doctor at an underworld hospital. Blasphemy has concealed a deadly secret that could get her killed. But there's no hiding when Revenant appears demanding her medical assistance for a certain patient. Yes, ma'am. And the last one, I have the darkest kiss and the darkest this and the darkest that, but I don't have this one. Go figure. The darkest touch. Since the beginning of Showalter's amazing Lords of the Underworld series, the cursed immortal in tough position has been torn host to the demon disease. When your every touch inflicts sickness and death. Carnal relationships are forbidden. Currently trapped in Cronus prison, Torrin is horrified when he inadvertently infects and kills human Mary. KAYE, the legendary Red Queen, is also trapped in the prison, and she is enraged that her best friend Mary is dead. KAYE vows vengeance on Torrin and eventually destroys the prison to get at him. Even knowing she wants to kill him, Torrin feels KAYE is almost irresistible. KAYE has betrayed by men before and is no mood for romance. So we'll see what happens. What are you doing? Nothing. Nothing. You know, she does that good. She'll go like this, like she's washing, and then her necklace will go flying across the room. There's a video out there of it if you find it. It's been out there a while. So, your nominees for Paranormal Romance were Jen Bennett's Bitter Spirits, Sarah McCarty's Reaper's Vow, Vina DePaul Turned, Haley Edwards' A Time of Dying, Kelsey Cole Dark Sky, Jan Dilemma Summer's Moon, Alyssa Ione Revenant, and Gina Showalter The Darkest Touch. And the winner, against my better judgment, I could have chosen Sarah McCarthy or Kelsey Crow or Larissa Ione or Gina Celesta. Oh, and if you like Gina Showalter, Alyssa Day also writes a similar vampire series. Vampires in Atlantis, by the way, underwater. I never could get it, but anyways. The winner and the Globe goes to Jen Bennett, Bitter Spirits. No, know why. Okay. Paranormal world building. I've never heard of this chick. ALMAKATSU. And picture Chrissy. The Descendant is the third and final installment in Katsu's electrifying Taker trilogy. It's a satisfying finale to an intense and spellbinding series. While I'm sorry that it has to come to an end, in three beautiful books make up a beautiful story executed perfectly from start to finish. Lenore Macri has been on the run for her lover Adair for centuries. Afraid of his power and his violent temper, she is guilty of the ultimate betrayal, locking him away in order to save the love of her life, Jonathan. After 200 years of captivity, Adair is freed, and Lana dreads that he will find her to extract revenge. But 4 years after Adair's release, Lenore finds herself seeking Adair out, needing him to grant her a favor. She wants him to send her to the hereafter to rescue Jonathan, who she believes is being held by the Queen of the Underworld. Lenore promises Adair she will return, but can she trust Lenore to hold up her end of the bargain if he gives her what she desires? Don't know. Alright. I don't know how they chose the winner in this category. I 100% disagree with the winner in this category. There are so much better authors in this category, which I will show you. There's no way that who won should won this. I will talk about it at the end here. And if you have not watched my Black Dagger Brotherhood series, please go back and watch my Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I started with Darius. We did Dark Lover, Lover Eternal, Lover Enshrined, Lover Unleashed, all of them. And go check all those out. And then if you have a few dollars, go check out Passion Flicks. I am not being paid for mentioning them. I have no affiliation with them either. And I don't have the money to subscribe, but I have seen all the clips though. But the series is scheduled to start season 2 next year. I think they've started filming. I'm not sure, but they have completed filming 1. And I watch all the clips and I watch all the interviews. And they are following the story. And J.R. Wood is in the thick of it with them. She approves everything and is with there even during some of the filming. And she has been yelled at for going, yes! At a filming and had to redo it because she ruined it by screaming and interrupting. Megastar Ward goes back to the beginning with the impressive style in The King. Readers were first introduced to the intricate world of the Black Dagger Brotherhood with the unusual courtship of Wraith and Beth. Much has changed in this world, and now treachery threatens the foundations per usual. Trouble has been coming at King Wrath and the Brotherhood from two sides. There is going to be war with the demonic lessers and the challenge to the throne from the band of bastards. As Beth is half human, some are claiming she is not fit to be queen, and any child would not carry enough royal blood to be king. Recently, Beth has found herself yearning for a child, but Wrath is adamantly opposed. This clash has placed a strain on her relationship that is only exacerbated when seditious political play is revealed. See what happens there. Slightly spellbound. Kimberly Frost. Again, I don't know why they chose these people. There it is. Kimberly Frost. Frightfully spellbound. You know, I was trying to make these videos shorter. Instead, I've made them longer. Filled with incredible laugh-out-loud humor, slightly spellbound, is light, whimsical, and absolutely delightful. Tammy Jo has two types of magic fighting inside her and two sexy men fighting for her, as if being pulled in two different directions. Inside and out wasn't enough. She has to fight for her life, too. While trying to choose between the ex-husband she loved since they were teenagers and the sexy wizard who's captured her heart, Tammy Jo's being stalked by scary skeletal creatures and hunted by a fairy knight. Making matters even worse is Evelyn Rhodes, a witch with a fortune whose family is out to kill her. See what happens there. There are so many different authors that I would have nominated instead of some of these. I really don't get why they did some of these. But anyways, oh, I need to get a picture, Chrissy. You forgot this one, Chrissy. Allegiance. Sarah Sandelin. Sandelin's fantastic imagination makes the fourth outing in the Penton Legacy a fast-paced, exciting read that builds on the two previous books while adding new twists to the contemporary universe she's constructed. Efforts to rebuild Peyton and bring in a new unvaccinated donors for the scathe slow down when random acts of sabotage result in Ranger Rob Thomas's death and trauma for Hannah. When the unvaccinated blood banks Aiden set up with Omega Force allies are bombed, it becomes obvious that someone in power is trying to send Aiden a message. But there's more bad news. Mathis Ludlam has escaped his execution. Is he behind the destruction? Time will tell. But for the remaining vampires and humans in Peyton, acceptance of the two newcomers could be the difference between life and death. And Nailing Singh, Shield of Winter. Many of Superstar Singh's characters are damaged in some way, but none more so than Psych Arrow and TKV. Tortured and molded in the perfect soldier and assassin, Vasek feels beyond salvation. The danger to the Psych neck is growing as lethal contagion is spreading murderously insanity. Caleb has a theory that the long-despised Psych-E designation could be the key to stopping the disease, but to test his theory, the E's must wake and use their powers. Ivy Jane is an E whose abilities were rehabilitated years ago and nearly destroyed her. Vass doesn't want to be part of this experiment, but upon meeting Ivy Jane, he changes his mind. Okay. Vampire Trouble. I have no idea how they chose these books. I would have not chosen half of them. Sarah Humphries. Humphries is undoubtedly a rising star in the genre, usurping her game with the second fantastic book in the series. Vampire Banteta Meyer has it with rules that the Presidium keeps making. It's taking all the fun out of being a vampire. When she's allowed to take a job at a local strip joint, she's elated, even though her maker is sending along a bodyguard. Sentry Shayne Corsita is none too happy to be babysitting the young vampire while she works at a sleazy club. Even worse is the fact that he cannot get her out of his head. He's in love. Oh, a naked guy on the cover. And the son of no one. Now, I must protest severely here. Absolutely must protest. I want to know how an unknown author beats out J.R. Ward and Sherilyn Kenyon. If you haven't seen McKenyon, that's McKenyon. When we're in the paranormal earth area of my house, that's Laurel K. Hamilton. But on the Regency side, that's my Sherilyn Kenyon. All up there. So how can this little unknown author beat these two powerhouses? I do not know. But these two powerhouses are still in business, and I'm pretty sure the winner is not. So, the son of no one, Sherilyn Kenyon. The fact that Kenyon can consistently produce complex and utterly riveting books in a multiple series is testament to her amazing talent and skill. And she tortures her people. She tortures them. Literally tortures them. One day we will do the series, and we will do Acheron. We will not talk about the first 500 pages of Acheron. If you are one of those people that love your heart torn out and you want to cry and you love misery, go ahead. Have at it. For 1,000 years, part demon Kagan has been trapped in a hellish realm. Forced there by his brother Alicius, Josette Landry is on the verge of homelessness, so when she's offered a job by her cousin filming a haunted house, she readily agrees. But the video shoot goes away when Joe falls through a mirror into a gray and dangerous world. Cadogan is shocked to discover a woman in its deadly realm. Keeping her alive will be a challenge. For Joe, Cadogan's honor shines through, and she is not about to abandon the sexy man now that she has found him. Okay, and Iona Andrews, Burn for Me. I know there's another picture someplace. Burn for Me. Staking out her ground in paranormal romance, uber-talented Andrews proves that no matter the genre, she is a storyteller extraordinaire. Keeping her family-owned PI business afloat is a constant challenge for Nevada Baylor. To pay off a pile of medical bills, they sold Baylor Investigations to House Montgomery, one of the most powerful Prime families. Since Primes are the highest rank of magic user and she is in Montgomery's debt, Nevada can't exactly refuse when she's ordered to apprehend dangerous fire Prime Adam Pierce. While tracking Adam, Nevada's kidnapped by Connor Mad Rogan, a Prime so dangerous that his exploits are legendary. It seems they are after the same target, and Mad figures he can use Adam's interest in Nevada to catch him. Okay, so your nominees for world building were Alma Katsu, The Descent, J.R. Ward, The King, Kimberly Frost, Slightly Spellbound, Susanna Sandlin, Allegiance, Nalene Singh, Shield of Winter, Sarah Humphrey, Vampire Trouble, Sherilyn Kenyon, Son of No One, and Ilona Andrews, Burn for Me. And I'm telling you, I 100% protest the winner. This is not somebody I would have chose. This is not somebody who deserves to beat Sherilyn Kenyon and J.R. Ward. That's just impossible. There is nobody that beats them. But apparently, Alma Katsu, who I've never heard of, is your winner. Okay, and our last category is urban fantasy world building. Up from the grave. Janine Frost. After 7 phenomenal outings, Frost Night Hunter series come to a breathtaking conclusion. Vampire husband and wife Cat Bones have been enjoying an unusual quiet spell, but it comes to an abrupt halt when they learn from Carly's ghostly Uncle Don that Cat's former team members are missing. Don fears that their old nemesis Jason Madigan is somehow involved. Although Madigan is no longer CIA, someone is funding his continued research. As Cat and Bones start to try to locate their friends, what they discover is so horrifying it could use a war between species. Everything is on the line and time is running out. But when it comes to saving her loved ones and friends, Cat will do anything. Murder of Crows. And Bishop. Sorry. Following last year's phenomenal written read, Bishop returns to Namid, with its creatures both terrible and wondrous. In the aftermath of the attack on the lakeside courtyard, which nearly resulted in Meg's death, palpable tension remains between the others and local humans. The appearance of 2 addictive drugs in other territories has resulted in murder and death among species. Simon Wolfgard, head of the courtyard, suspects it won't be long before the drugs makes an appearance in Lakeside. When Meg has a horrific dream of blood and feathers in the snow, she fears for her crow friends. The swift manifestation of the prophecy indicates the time is running out, especially as Meg feels the prickling of prophecies more frequently as Meg's former captors seek to recapture her and exploit her gifts. Banishing the Dark. Jen Bennett. We saw her earlier. Her hot talent brings Bennett utterly riveting a Katie Bell series to a heart-stopping close as Katie faces final showdown with a homicidal and evil mother. Although she managed to survive her explosive confrontation with the now-deceased Hellfire Club leader, Ambrose Dare, Arcadia Bell did not escape unscathed. Weakened as she is, Cody will have a hard time fighting off her bloodthirsty mother who plans to take magical possession of Cody's body. Knowing the clock is ticking, Cody and her demon lover, Lon Butler, must find out the truth about the occult ceremony used during her conception and what impact it has on her growing up as Moonchild powers. C.E. Murphy. Why I don't own this book, I don't know, but picture Grizzy! Shaman Rises. It's always a bit sad when a terrific series comes to a close, but you can't help but rejoice when it goes out with a bang. Joanne is in shock when she receives a phone call from her cab-driving friend Gary Milsom saying his wife Annie is in the hospital. This is extremely disturbing for many reasons, not the least of which Annie died years before Joanne ever met Gary. The Master threw the Raven markers on the move, so Joanne and Captain Michael Marson raced back to Seattle just to stop him. When Gary rode with the god of the wild hunt, Sarunas, he caught the Master's eye, so now the Master is trying to gain a foothold through a resurrected Annie to save those she loves as well as the world. It will require that Joanne draws all her shamak abilities. And Kat Richardson. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do Stephen Blackmore. Broken Souls. Blackmore's bottomless imagination cocks some truly twisted, weird, bloody, devilish cover stuff in his latest novel. 15 years on the run, necromancer Eric Carter's return to Los Angeles has been one nightmare after another. Now with those he loved gone and his connection to the Aztec death goddess Santa Maria wreaking havoc on his powers, Eric can hardly recognize himself or the voices he's hearing around him. But in trying to break Santa Maria's hold over him, Eric finds himself the target of a creature who can transform into anything, wearing the skin of others like a suit. Now, in order to save his own hide, Eric will have to become as fearsome as the things that is chasing him. Okay, Kat Richardson, Revenant. After 8 outstanding books, Richardson brings her riveting Grey Walker series to a stunning and satisfying close. P.I. Harper Blaine has not heard from her lover Quentin for nearly half a year, as he has not hot on the trail of his dangerous father, James Perlis, and Perlis goes to Vision. Then Quentin summons Harper to Portugal and warns she needs to arrive incognito. To pull this off, Harper enlists the aid of vampire Carlos to insist on company. Upon her arrival, Harper and Carlos learn that Perlis allied with an ancient cult. Perlis has also kidnapped his 6-year-old granddaughter and offered her to the group. It is now a desperate race to save Sonora and stop the apocalyptic plan of this cult. Okay. And another lady, who should be one of the winners but isn't. And while this was the end, it wasn't the true end. Because unlike Charlene Harris, who ended her series at the same time, this lady came back to the Hollows. Give it another 1-2 years, and the Hollows will return. Sookie Stackhouse will not, but Rachel will. The Witch with No Name. Throughout the Amazing Hollows Day walking demon, Rachel Morgan's journey of self-discovery has been filled with every conceivable emotion and a cast of amazing characters. And life has taken Rachel Morgan on a truly wild ride, one that's cost her friends, lovers, and family. Rachel is now determined not to let her BFF, living vampire Ivy, die and lose her soul. Unfortunately, under Master Vampire Ryan, Cormel wants a solution to the vampire soul problem now, or he will kill Ivy. The one thing going well in Rachel's chaotic life is her burgeoning relationship with Trent. But time is not on their side, as Elf Langdon is plotting to destroy the Ever After and conveniently blame it on Rachel. It's going to take skill, luck, and determination to save those who Rachel loves from destruction. And like I said, the series continues. There are more books out there. And in fact, somebody is supposed to be coming back to life in the next book. And if you haven't watched my videos on those, please go check my videos on those books. And the final book in this urban fantasy world building is Jennifer Estep, Black Widow. Generations long blooded feuds can be treacherous, as assassin Gina Blanco is about to learn. After Gina finally killed Mab Moreau, the fire entomology and crime boss who murdered Gina's family, she hoped for some peace, but Mab, heretofore unknown daughter Madeline Monroe, has other plans. Gina has been feeling paranoid as she waits for Madeline Monroe to make her move. Jen is not the only one on the edge, as the crime boss of Ashland are also waiting to see if Madeline will pick up her mother's mantle. When Jean's friends start encountering business issues and false allegations, she knows her paranoia is justified, but these incidents are just the first salvos in Madeline's devious and complicated plan to destroy Jen. Alright, so your nominees for Urban Fantasy World Building: Janine Frost, Up from the Grave. C.E. Murphy, Shaman, Anne Bishop, Murder of the Crows. Jen Bennett, Banishing the Dark. C.E. Murphy, Shaman Rises. Kat Richardson, Revenant. Stephen Blackmore, Broken Souls. Kim Harrison, The Witch with No Name. And Jennifer Estep, Black Widow. And the one winner I agree with, although... Kim Harrison. But, Up from the Grave gets the Globe. And that is the end of this video. And if you have stayed here this long, you are fantastic and I love you. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. This is literally taking me all day. Have a good one. And don't forget If Then Fridays and Star Trek Voyager Fridays. And tune in. And if you haven't seen the other Flashback Mondays, please go back and watch them. We started with 07 and we continue to 16. We're just finishing up with And the Winner Is. And then we're going to be moving forward a little bit, I think. I hope. We'll see. Have a good one.